In our first story, some police and military officials are being accused of complicity in the fight against illegal mining, a move many believe may harm the efforts to determine if the menace can be stopped entirely. This was revealed by the Lands and Natural Resources Minister John Peter Amewu at a Joy FM Thought Leadership Forum on Galamsey.
Over the last 3 months, during which the campaign against Galamsey has grown, one of the things that has contributed to illegal mining flourishing is the lack of enforcement by the security agencies. In some cases, there are allegations that police and military men provide armed protection for the Galamseyers. This has handicapped the Minerals Commission, whose CEO, Dr. Tony Obin, speaking at a forum against illegal mining, read out a letter to the security agencies informing them of the need to respond quickly to the growing threat of Galamsey.
The office wishes to, and this is coming from the district chief executive of that district, the office wishes to accordingly remind you of the Municipal Security Council's directive in connection with same subject, for you to furnish it with the names of the leaders of the groups operating in the affected area for further action. So you write to us that we should go and ask the names of people doing the illegal mining. If it is Shuanghu, we should write Shuanghu, and then Shahuai, and then we'll write, or Kofi Ejekum, we should write. And I mean, look at that. When we have written to say, take a practical security action.
For Lands Minister John Peter Amewu, enforcement of the law is not negotiable, and he wants the IGP to take charge.
We are very weak in implementing the law. So it is the implementing agencies. I agree that when an illegality is happening and the police goes in to do the arrest, and maybe that is the end. I have a discussion and engaged the IGP. I even spoke with the IGP yesterday. Maybe he'll be hearing me. I made him understand clearly that in all these 9 mining districts that we've identified, something needs to happen, you know, and I hope it's going to happen quite soon. So the enforcement with these agencies is very key. If the agencies are coming behind the commission, you know, to show that there's some activity in terms of enforcement going on, that can also send signal that we are very sure and serious about what we're doing. And that's why I'm most grateful to the, you know, the Justice Ministry for coming out with this 14 or 13, you know, special courts. We expect the court to work, and maybe we're looking at the best to happen very soon.
On his part, convener of the Media Coalition Against Galamsey and MD for Graphic Communications Group insists the fight should now be focused on those companies and banks who are benefiting from the proceeds of the illegality.
For me, significantly, we've also seen some political leadership. We've gotten the president debunk, you know, the political blackmail that was coming up, and it's one of the things that has been missing, you know, for a very long time. And so that has happened, and now I believe that we've gotten to the point where we need to enforce the laws, we need to do the things that we need to do. Definitely the livelihood conversation is in there, but as I say all the time, that there's an account that say, you know, you don't, in the midst of where we are, we cannot be in that midst trying to fix the thing. We need to stop, you know, the bleeding, and then ensure that after that, you know, we'll be able to fix the other things that we need to fix.
Let's stay on Galamsey a while longer, because the Member of Parliament for Talensi in the Upper East region, BT Baba, has been named as one of several top politicians and chiefs allegedly behind illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey. In a confidential BNI document intercepted by Joy News, the investigative agency details some top personalities engaged in the menace, which government is attempting to end. The 31-page document reveals Galamsey is prevalent in all the regions of Ghana except 2. My colleague Raymond Aqua has been studying the document. He joins me in the studio with more. So Raymond, good to see you.
Thank you.
Now, we already pointed out the Talensi MP, BT Baba, has been fingered in the report. What are the details of his involvement?
So it is said that his constituency, Talensi, is actually in the Upper East region. The specific areas where these activities are happening in his constituency are along the White Volta, Bani, Blue, and Datoku. They pinpoint Datoku is a place that he has a mining concession. a mining concession that they believe he's actually exceeded the limits of what is legal. So currently, what is happening on the grounds there is illegal operations, even though he has the concession to pursue this particular act. But he's not alone in this particular activity. Together with an alleged financier of the governing New Patriotic Party, who goes by the name Bunya Kolong, who is also popularly known in Talensi as Polo. He's also said to be funding the activities of these Galamsey operators. They are doing it together with an official of the Precious Minerals Office at Bogatanga. Together, they say they are sponsoring the Galamsey operations, also in the Gbani, Blue, and all of the other areas.
So all these, if I understand correctly, all these activities are happening in the Upper East region.
In the Upper East region, in the specific
region.
Constituency of Talensi, in that particular district. The towns are what I mentioned. The Member of Parliament has a specific concession at Datoku. The other people involved are doing similar works in the Blue and the Bani areas, which are what the report is referencing in this case.
And which are the key personalities does the report also finger?
Okay, so the report says that there is perception among residents of Kibi that the Ochihne or Sajifo Amotio for Repeni is behind illegal mining activities in the area, and further allege that the Ochihne has constituted a task force as part of his environmental foundation who allegedly extort money from illegal miners in the area. So this is what the report is saying about the eastern region. It talks about how the Brim River is also being destroyed, but in places at the also Jumako and also in the western region, some chiefs and elders are said to be at the forefront of the Galamsey pit. In fact, the story is said to be no different from what's happening in the Shaman area, where Chief of Bokpo Kwepe, Nana Isamuni, is alleged to be involved in the illegal mining himself, leading the activities on the grounds there, together with the aid of the Minerals Commission's concession officer on the grounds. There are also people who are supposed to have mining license for prospecting who are abusing it. One of such is the chief executive of Bupon Construction Limited in the western region, specifically Chifopraso. Prince John Bedu has been cited as one of those involved in such an activity. In fact, the report also deals with security personnel who are allegedly behind this particular conduct.
We do know that the Lands Minister has been touring parts of the country as part of the ministry's crackdown. The document captured details of that. What transpired after that? What does it say?
Okay, so the document says in parts that some received the, what they call it, it says that his tour received mixed reaction from a cross-section of the general public, notably illegal miners, residents of communities affected by the mining. The minister's directive received commendation from residents of communities affected by the mining, but this is not the same for the illegal miners. Indeed, the report says that the illegal miners are opposed to these directives for them to hand over the excavators and leave the place and the pits where they are conducting their activities. In fact, the report proceeded to say that for civil and public servants, they commend the directive from the ministry. And as I said earlier, on the contrary, the legal miners are not enthused.
And of course, that is true. In our various reports, we have heard a lot of the general populace actually applauding the efforts of the ministry, but the small-scale miners themselves aren't too pleased with that. But very quickly, the document reveals that Galamsey is prevalent in all the regions except two. So which are these two regions? Okay, so the document specifically takes note, and it says in 9. Meanwhile, checks conducted within the Volta and the Greater Accra regions revealed that illegal mining activities are non-existent in these areas. Volta region
and the Greater Accra region.
And the Greater Accra region. Quite interesting. Thank you very much for those details. Raymond Akwa with those details. Well, Mr. B.T. Baba, who's MP for Talensi, has dismissed the BNI report, which implicates him in Galamsey. Although he concedes he has a license to engage in small-scale mining, he told my colleague Jiva Pampo his concession has not been active since he became MP.
The report is a fallacy, completely false, because I started requesting for a mining license in 2010. And then on 10th June 2011, a notification was put all over the Talensi constituency. And mind you, by then I was not a member of parliament. It took me 4 years to be able to get the license in February, precisely 11th February 2014. and the license expires 2019. The concession is being worked on by my family members because I acquired it on their behalf. So I have genuine license as a small-scale miner.
Is it possible that some of your family members are operating beyond the concession you've been given?
No. I haven't been there for almost 2 years. But I believe that they are not mining beyond the concession. Even they have stopped work for about a year now.
Why have you stopped operations for the last 1 year?
Because when I became a member of parliament, I realized I couldn't combine the two. And since the license was valid up to 2019, I couldn't have left the place fallow without putting people who are beneficiaries of the license to be working there.
So you maintain that you are not engaged in illegal mining, which is known as Galamsey?
Yes, and I have the documents. When I arrive in Accra, I'll produce it to your office and you'll look at it.
If the minister were to open a wide-scale investigation based on this report, are you open to making yourself available to debunk whatever allegations are being made?
Why not? That would be most welcome.
Now, Shanzi Mining Ghana Limited, a mine support service firm providing services to 2 licensed small-scale miners at Gbani in the Upper East region, has been directed to stop operating until investigations into circumstances that led to the death of 7 miners in the area are completed. The development comes after some local miners in the area accused the company of causing the deaths of the 7 miners 3 weeks ago. Upper East correspondent Albert Sore has more.
3 weeks ago, 7 men said to be illegal miners died in a mine accident believed to have occurred as a result of an accidental underground blast while the miners were working in a pit near a concession of Shanzi Mining. In separate interviews with Joy News, the local miners blamed Shanzi Mining, but the company denied the accusations. This was not the first time such deaths had occurred, and the company accused. On Tuesday, concerned citizens of the Talensi district questioned the authenticity of the company's license and demanded that it be removed from the area because it is to blame for several deaths in the area. At a media briefing on Thursday to react to the claims made by the Talensi citizens, operators of Shanzi Mining insisted they could not have caused the deaths of those miners. Underground mine manager Thomas T, however, disclosed that the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources had written to them asking that they suspend all operations.
We had to insist to find out where they passed down and where they were before the gas. And where they were found, they were showing me, was not convincing. Because that place, yes, we had some signs of them being there. We had their kayaks, we had some of their bags and other things which the police took away for exhibit. But that couldn't have been the place of operation because no activity as at now goes on there.
The concerned citizens of Talensi had also claimed that Shanzi Mining was extracting gold in the area without carrying out any social responsibilities to help the community. But PRO for the Shanzi Mining Company, Maxwell Woma, says that is not true.
We have successfully constructed a 9-unit classroom block. In fact, but for the recent challenges we have had, we were just going to hand over this school next week to the Gbani community. We have also completed a $1 million bridge that separates KJTR and Takwa here. We have paid for 8 students, and they are on the scholarship scheme that we have for the Gbani people. Apart from this, we have constructed 10 boreholes. We have also donated vehicles to the Talensi District Assembly. We have donated computers to the regional hospital, the regional police command. The Talensi District has received 10 computers from us. The Nabdam District has received 10 computers from us. And that is apart from the 552 workers that we have gainfully employed.
The Shanji Mining Company has also made their documentations available to the media to prove that they were not doing illegal work as claimed by the Talensi citizens. Meanwhile, workers of the Shanji Mining Company are unhappy about the indefinite closure of the company. Reporting for Joy News, Albert Sori, Bolgatanga.
And in the studio, I'm Arba Kumsi. We're taking a short break. We'll be right back. Stay with us. You're welcome back. Now, after 47 years in public service, Chief Justice Georgina Wood is bowing out next month. Appointed in May 2007, her ladyship, Georgina Wood, is the first woman to have occupied the office. She announced her exit as she witnessed the last Justice for All program at the Nsawam medium security prisons, from where Seth Kwame Boateng reports.
Being her last visit to the Nsawam medium security prison before she retires next month, Chief Justice Georgina Wood took time to tour the facility with the Danish ambassador and other dignitaries. They first went to the condemned cells to see the congestion firsthand, and then moved to the remand block to witness the conditions as captured in Joy News' documentary Locked and Forgotten, which inspired the revival of the Justice for All program. She discussed privately with her delegation what could be done to make life better for inmates. The Chief Justice, the Danish ambassador, the Director of Public Prosecution, and the prison's boss then moved to the 3 high courts that sat to adjudicate the cases of 58 remand prisoners. A number of them secured their freedom after the sitting, including one inmate featured in Joy News' Left to Rot documentary, having been remanded for 11 years. Justice Clemens Hunyanuga, chairman of the Justice for All program, announced how proceedings went.
We had 3 high courts that sat in this prison. We discharged 7 of them, granted bail to 41 of them. We refused bail for 4, and we struck out 1 application. Then 5 inmates were referred for psychiatric treatment, and the total number of applications which were dealt with is 58.
The Danish ambassador Tove Dangball, in a short news conference, called on Ghana to do more to improve justice delivery. She believes Ghana can do better in its justice delivery system.
Many of the inmates in the prisons should not be there. And with a look at the laws of Ghana, it might be possible actually to identify measures that could significantly relieve the congestion of the prisons and ensure justice for all in a different way. I'm talking about looking at possibilities of introducing community service, using parole, looking at the provisions for handling narcotics, crimes of narcotics, where there seemed not to be much distinction between possessing a limited amount of marijuana and then serious narcotic crimes involving heroin trafficking, etc.
Director of Public Prosecution Yvonne Atakra Obuobisa assured more is being done to improve justice delivery in this country.
It is now extremely difficult to have remand prisoners whose warrants are not renewed on time. There is no way you can keep such a person. But we have all witnessed today. For instance, I was in one court where somebody had been there for 9 years on remand. He had been granted bail in 2014. He was unable to fulfill the conditions. Granted bail again last year, was unable to fulfill the conditions. Now, the biggest challenge is, why has he not been tried up until now? And these are things that we ought to work on going forward. It will call for greater collaboration with the Ghana Police Service, with the various police stations all over.
Chief Justice Georgina Wood said, though she is on her way out, she will continue to use her influence to support prison reforms. She also announced she has no plans to stay on till the end of this year, as had been reported.
On the 8th of June, I will no longer be in service. In 4 weeks, 3 days' time, I would have served my country faithfully in public office for about 47 years. And then to say that I'm pleased with what Justice Nyanuga and his team have been able to achieve so far for our unfortunate brothers and sisters who find themselves confined. You know, I'm sure if we were to listen to their stories, we'll even feel more empathy for them, because it's for various reasons that they find themselves in conflict with the law. That notwithstanding, it is the state's duty to ensure that their rights as prisoners, whether on remand or as convicts, are protected.
Seth Kwame Boateng, in Nsawam prisons.
Meanwhile, the Chief Justice has commended Seth Kwame Boateng for his documentary that inspired a revival of the Justice for All program.
I forgot to thank Mr. The man who made us sit up. Thank you so much. And you know, he started another project. Tell them a little about it, because I'm sure the female state attorneys in particular would like to contribute.
Thank you, leadership, and good afternoon. I'm grateful for the honor. Yes, we have started a new project to get support for mothers and children in Kumasi, especially Konfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital. We are not doing this only for those in Ashanti region, but we're also targeting those in the 3 regions, the central, western, because all of them use Konfo-Anokye. We want to raise enough money to put up a 1-story maternity and mother and baby unit for them. We want to end the situation where about 4 babies die every day, and on the average, about 100 women losing their lives at birth, child delivery at Konfo-Anokye. So that's what we are on. And yesterday, we managed to raise some funds together with the First Lady, and her ladyship contributed. Members of the bar, the judiciary also contributed. So those of us who are yet to donate, we can do so and help save lives. I'm grateful. Thank you.
And we'll have more on that Next to Die documentary on which we are trying to raise funds to build that mother and baby unit. But right now, we're taking a short break. We'll be back with business news. Stay with us. You're welcome back. Now, a fundraiser in support of a 1-story mother and baby unit at the Konfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital in Kumasi on Thursday mobilized nearly 8 million of the 10 million cedis needed. The donations have not stopped pouring in, but one of the most outstanding is a pledge by Gasim to supply all the cement that will be required to get the job done. Some individuals who attended the event hosted by the First Lady Rebecca Ekufuado described it as a major success and commended the initiative by the Multimedia Group Limited.
I think that she's shown that indeed she's the mother of this country, and we are all proud of her. And so we urge everyone out there to also donate in every little way. Little drops of water makes a big ocean. So I believe that this project of hers is materialized so that Ghanaians will see the mother that she is to all of us, especially the yet unborn. The president, we all know, and has also reiterated a number of times that he's a man of his word. So, and he doesn't speak without the facts and figures and all the material facts that ought to have been considered before such a statement is made. So I believe that he knew exactly what he was talking about, adequately made provision, consulted the Minister for Finance, and known that it is something that can be done. That is why he let it out.
So happy. I wasn't expecting this, but it has happened. And I know a lot of people are going to contribute as they hear us to make the dream come true. The First Lady have already started it, assisted by the Second Lady of the country.
I can say that I did feel that people will see the need to give to this cause, but like I said earlier, it is an overwhelming show of support. Yeah, an overwhelming show of support. We are very grateful. We will need the help of the media and Ghanaians, you know, from all walks of life to continue giving money, to continue donating funds to the account numbers that have been displayed, to continue supporting this cause and keeping this on their minds and keeping this on everybody's minds, and then trying to move forward with it and actually trying to make progress.
I know how it feels to lose a baby or a mother. So as a Catholic, it's just my social responsibility to also help support the cause that we are all fighting for. It could be me, it could be you, it could be somebody else. So that is my company's social responsibility, to donate 20,000 towards the project.
What are you hoping that your donation and others will achieve?
What I am not even looking at the 10 million that the First Lady is looking for, but I'm looking beyond the 10 million so that the whole project can be completed to save a child and save a mother.
Well, speaking of babies and mothers, expectant and nursing mothers at the Komfo Anokye Teaching Hospital are appealing to Ghanaians to contribute towards expanding the facility to save babies. Love News Erastus Asare Donko interacted with patients as well as health workers in Kumasi as the fundraiser got underway here in Accra.
Bolus impetigo, a very infectious condition. Look, it has some blisters, so if it comes in contact with the cuts, the materials, any baby around, even some of us will get infected. So this baby should have been in a separate room. But this is the case. We don't have any separate room for the baby. The baby has to be with all of us here. And it's bad. It's actually very bad.
So this is the mother and baby unit, and you can see the space we have here. We have 3 babies in this particular court. We were supposed to, ideally, how many babies should be in this?
Ideally 1, but now it's 3. That means there is congestion.
Well, as we come here, the same applies to other courts that you see around. And ideally, the mothers should have been sitting here like this woman is doing to her baby. But because of the space, imagine 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 30-something babies in the small room. If we were to allow the mothers to sit by their babies here, we'll have a situation on our hands. So as you can see, some few mothers can be allowed in at a time. And even with these 4 mothers, you see how cramped up they are, close to each other. No space to feel easy, and they have to sit on these stools. Perhaps if there was space, we could have gotten a more comfortable chair for them to sit on and be able to breastfeed their babies. So you can see even with this one, look at 2 babies very closely packed in one cot. And it's easy to spread one infection to the other. So you have a nice bouncy baby. When did you deliver?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago?
Yes.
Tell me of the challenge, the experience. Tell me.
It's been hectic. The nurses are really doing their best, as well as the doctors. You can see how they are all trying to sacrifice and make us comfortable here. But the apartment or the building is not helping. It's been very hectic. Where to bath, where to rest. I've been leaning on this bed for the whole of last night, and it's not been easy.
Before we move into our 43-year-old building, I think it's a good step to serve in the interim. So the expansion program is good. When I looked at the drawing, we will get more than twice the current space. It is very good. So we would urge corporate bodies and individuals, as you said, no contribution is small, but if we put all together, it will be great. So let's plan to support it.
In other stories, the Dorfort Traditional Council has condemned a recent news conference by the paramount stool father of the area, Zikbitoga Kweku Godson Ameka, challenging the appointment of an acting paramount chief for the area. The Traditional Council, at a news conference at Drapong on Wednesday, said the demand for the acting paramount chief, Togwe Adela Titriku VII to step down was out of place. The council described the stool father's actions as most disgusting, greedy, mischievous and misconduct to traditional authorities and gave the stool father a 7-day ultimatum to render an unqualified apology to the acting paramount chief through the traditional council. Fred Kwame Asare's report.
The stool father, Zikpitoga Kweku Godson Ameka, held a press conference last week and called on the acting paramount chief, Togbi Adela Anansi Titriku XII, to step down because he had failed to render account on donations and compensations he received on behalf of the traditional area. He also alleged the chief is hindering a process to select a substantive paramount chief and gave him a 14-day ultimatum to step down and hand over all documents of the traditional area to him.
We, the undersigned Ameka family of the Amanfulu clan and owners of the paramount stool of the traditional area, hereby demand for the immediate step down of Togbi Adela Titriku Anansi XII as acting paramount chief of Dofo traditional area and hand over all paramount stool properties and documents to the paramount stool father and the new acting paramount chief of Dofo State, Zikpitoga Godson Kweku Ameka. And he is hereby commanded to cease holding himself out at any forum as representing the Dofo State in that capacity as acting paramount chief of Dofo forthwith and immediately.
In response to these allegations, Togbi Adela Anansi Titriku XII, who is also the chairman of the Dofo Traditional Council, explained the installation process for paramount chiefs at a news conference in Juapon on Wednesday.
The Dofo Traditional Council has received the news of your press release with utmost disgust and wish to condemn it in no uncertain terms, because it was conceived out of utter malice, mischief, greedy motives, and devilish machinations. It is also found to be completely baseless fabrications and truths, and therefore untenable. It must be noted that there is no customary law in Dofo which stipulates that on the demise of a substantive paramount chief or incapacitation, or in the event of abdication, the paramount stool father becomes the regent.
He blamed the stalling of the selection process on the stool father and a former NP for the area, who he claims attempted to impose an individual who was not a member of the royal Amanfulu clan. Togbi Adela Anansi Titriku XII was flanked by divisional chiefs in the Dofo traditional area who were not pleased with the comments made by the stool father. Fred Kwame Asare's report for Joy News.
Now, President Akufo-Addo says he is looking forward to strengthening the West African regional body, ECOWAS, and also deepening bilateral ties with Burkina Faso within his first term as president. The president, who is on a regional tour, touched down in Burkina Faso early Friday. President Akufo-Addo also used the platform to thank the Burkinabe president for gracing his inauguration.
The ECOWAS countries began this because of the change of government that is taking place in Ghana in January. What was necessary for me to come and introduce myself to my colleagues and to the peoples of the region as the new Ghanaian leader, and take the opportunity also to deepen our bilateral cooperation and relations which go back centuries, even before the intervention of colonialism. And at the same time, to give me an opportunity to discuss with the President matters concerning the future of ECOWAS. So these are the reasons which have brought me here to Ouagadougou, and to take the opportunity also to thank the President for coming to my inauguration in Accra in January, and for continuing to be a very good friend of Ghana.
Now, an Accra High Court has said May 16 to commence the process of putting in place a jury to hear the case involving 2 young men accused of having a hand in the gruesome murder of Joseph Boakye Dankwa Edu early last year. The New Patriotic Party Member of Parliament for Ibuakwa North in the Eastern Region was found dead in a pool of blood at his Shiashi residence. The 2 were subsequently arrested and arraigned before a district court. The case currently before the High Court stalled last week due to the absence of the lawyer for the accused. Trial Judge Justice L.L. Mensah said the court was ready and willing to hear the matter and will treat it as urgent. He urged the lawyers on both sides to ensure they are in court at the next hearing. The jury to be empaneled will be expected to deliver a verdict once the trial ends. Now, the Accra Metropolitan Assembly is asking politicians not to interfere in its decongestion exercises across the city to ensure sustainability of the cleared walkways. The Assembly destroyed makeshift structures competing with pedestrians for space on pavements at the Kwame Nkrumah interchange on Thursday. Several attempts in the past to rid the city of these hawkers have failed, mainly due to political interference. But Public Relations Officer for the AMA, Numo Blafo, says the new mayor has not come under any political pressure to back down. Speaking on the Pulse with Gifty Ando-Apia, he added the Assembly has no plans to create new markets to accommodate the traders encroaching on the walkways.
Well, after the exercise, I had to go and report to him that, yes, this is an exercise. He is away.
Okay.
So I had to go and report to him that, yes, we've done what you have to do, and this are what the issues that are arising. And he was cool.
He doesn't have any political concerns?
Well, he didn't make mention of anybody calling him to stop us or anything. No, we have seen it all. And I'm very sure that this time we will make sure that politicians remove AMA out of this issue, because this is a core mandate for the AMA. It's not a political issue. We should just leave the politics out of this, so that at least how do I put it? At least once in our lifetime, we can say that, yes, we have done something which all of us will be proud of. If the AMA will construct a market, first we need to look at for land. And we all live in Accra here. Do we have available land for construction of markets?
So that's not on the table?
It's not on the table. What we intend doing is redeveloping the existing markets that we have. And you see, the pedestrian shopping mall was actually created for those who are selling on the streets. That's why it was named as such. And they acquired it, yet when they went in, some of them rented their shops out, some sold them, and came back on the streets. When we asked them, they said they sell more on the streets than in the market.
I see.
And can we continue to create markets everywhere?
Meanwhile, the Assembly is set to have set up a joint task force to ensure compliance with the ban on drumming and noise-making in the capital as the Ga traditional authorities prepare to celebrate the annual Homowo Festival. The one-month ban takes effect from May 8, during which period funerals, parties, church activities and Muslim calls to worship are all expected to cease. Here's Numo Blafo again.
It doesn't matter whether you don't believe in the tradition, because the same constitution that gave you that right to, your worship also gave the traditional authorities to a right to insist on their tradition within their locality. Because whatever we are doing doesn't go beyond the Ga community. It is within the Ga community. So if you are in the Ga community, you need to abide by that rule. We have given the dates.
Okay.
So at least from that date
May to 8th June.
And even that 8th June, the rite has to be performed between the hours of 2 and 4.
Okay.
And before that rite, you still cannot play any...
Make noise.
We have people, a task force that comprises of the AMA and Metro Guards, the Asafo group from the Ghana Traditional Council, and they will be joined by police, and they will have some identifiable tags, so that when they come to you, I am not expecting anybody to go by, to flout the rules though, but when you are doing it and they see and they come and they show you, please just allow them to do what they have to do. Just make sure that whatever they take from you, they give you a list, because they also have a copy, they give you a copy, and then you know exactly where they are taking the things to, so that at the end of the day, you can go back for your things.
Oh, so they actually can come and seize your goods, your equipment?
If you are flouting the rule, they will come and seize it. So
and then they'll bring it back to you later?
They won't bring it back. You will have to go for it after the ban has been lifted. Oh. Yeah, every time we do it, but that time it was the Ghana Traditional Council that does the tax for them.
Okay.
But this time the AMA has taken charge and we are doing the tax for them.
Now, the National Health Insurance officials in the Upper East region say frequent shortages of ribbons, a material used for printing cards for clients who register with the scheme, was a major challenge for them last year. At a performance review meeting for the year 2016 held at Bolgatanga Thursday, municipal managers of the NHIA said due to shortages of the ribbons, they were often faced with situations where they had to register clients and ask them to return at a later date for the NHIA cards. They are, however, hopeful the situation will change this year. Upper East correspondent Albert Sore has more.
The 2016 end-of-year performance review meeting of the National Health Insurance Authority in the Upper East region brought together stakeholders of the scheme to look back at the performance of the scheme in the year 2016. The presentations generally indicated that the scheme had performed beyond expectations in terms of registering their targeted number of clients for the year 2016. However, some of the district scheme managers said there were some challenges in the year 2016 that need to be tackled this year. In an interview with Joy News, NHIA manager for the Bawku municipality, David Samari, bemoaned the difficulty his scheme faced in trying to register clients who live in faraway communities.
We don't have our ICT platforms in such communities. So normally we go there to do some scanning, see whether we could get network connectivity. Unfortunately, you can't get any connectivity at such places. And we don't also have the funds to transport the people to the office. So it has become a big challenge. So our performances around those areas actually has not been good for the year.
Now, the Wenchi Methodist Senior High School, which lost over a dozen of its students in the recent Kintampo waterfalls tragedy, is to build an ultra-modern weather station as a memoriam to the departed. The families of the deceased students were also presented with a cash gift. Correspondent Nesta Kafuya Joma sent in this report.
The Wenchi Methodist Senior High School has been without a weather station since its establishment decades ago. Geography students, therefore, have to walk for almost 2 kilometers to the Wenchi Meteorological Agency just to have a feel of a weather station. Students have often been distracted as a result, with some taking advantage to engage in deviant behavior. Headmaster Foster Inchibuatin says the school's management team and the Parent-Teacher Association agreed to construct the facility to, in part, discourage students taking advantage of their out-of-school trips to misconduct themselves.
As a school, in a small way, we have realized that we also need a tangible facility that will serve as a monument in remembrance of the soul's loss. So we took this to management meeting level, and it was decided or agreed upon that we need a monument for the geography department. So discussing with the department, we realized that they are in need of weather station. We all know what weather station, the role it plays in the teaching of geography. So we all agree that we need to construct a modern type of weather station in remembrance of these geography students who lost their lives during the tragedy.
He said a weather station on the school compound will be very helpful in several ways. Meanwhile, 26 parents and relatives of students who died in the Kintampo Waterfalls tragedy have received 1,000 Ghana cedis each from the management of Wenchi Senior High School. The amount is said to have been donated by Bishop Adonton Boateng, who is the founder and general overseer of Divine Word Ministry International based in Virginia, USA. Some relatives of the deceased students were grateful for the gesture. Nestor Kafui Ajume's report for Joy News.
Now, misconceptions around pigs and their byproducts have for years affected the consumption of its meat. While some ascribe religious reasons for their abstinence, there are those who cite health reasons. But perhaps economic dynamism, taste and change in preferences is helping to boost demand for pork and by so doing attracting more suppliers. Love FM's Prince Appiah reports.
Dakojom used to be the only area considered the hub of pork business in the Kumasi metropolis for years. This is because of the misconception of many health complications ascribed to consuming the animal product. But the change in consumer behavior towards the meat has changed the face of the business in the metropolis.
The main idea we I like pork is I'm from goats and sheep, but the oil from goat and meat, it will help me. So if I go to pork oil is almost complete for my personality. That's why I always go to pork.
How much do you spend on buying pork?
Okay, I get friends where they do pork business, so if I buy one, I get one free. So I'm almost every week I go 3 times in the week. So if I buy one, I get two. I get one free.
I know that pork is sweet. No one thing.
Pork is nice. The fat is not as bad as people suggest. I've shunned buying other kinds of meat. I eat only fish and pork. I spend 30 cedis on pork every week. I eat it every day.
Mamiya happens to be one of such persons benefiting from the change.
Patronage is high because it is very cheap. For any amount you can have for yourself a slice, even with soup.
Parties and events such as funerals all feature pork. The business has grown with pockets of pork joints springing up almost everywhere. So 6 months ago, there wasn't any pork joint here at Tech Junction. But as I speak to you now, there's this new one here. And as at 10 p.m., business is still ongoing.
Oh, pork The pork business is very good these days. I was running a consumer goods shop which fetched little return, so I switched to this job.
This increase means that pork farming is becoming lucrative because its production and demand must go up. Santido's farm is a piggery with over 600 pigs located on the Santasi Road. The biochemist turned farmer Kwesi Intim is practicing the farm-to-table concept in pork production. He kills between 30 and 40 pigs in a week for processing and consumption.
The demand for pork is fantastic. Currently now, pork is more expensive than beef. So that tells you the story. There is a demand for it. Now we need to meet that demand.
Tell us, what does it mean to a breeder or a farmer like yourself looking at the demand for pigs in recent times?
It's very exciting.
Another put-off about pork is how dirty the animal is. When being reared as a result, some pig farmers have had to stop due to low patronage. But Mr. Intim explains injecting science into pig production is the key to addressing the challenge for commercial production.
You can't go and arguably take
plantain waste and cassava waste and those type of things to feed the pigs and expect to make money. No.